Hey guys, it's Sarah here from birdsofafeather.ca, and today I'd like to show you this amazing Tunisian crochet stitch. It's a smock stitch and it's beautifully textured and the fabric is thick and rich. Now this is something that I'm using for the back of the Kayla pillow, and for demonstration purposes I've chained 12. So you're going to turn your work around and you're going to look for these horizontal bumps right in the back. Then you're going to insert your hook into those bumps, and if you haven't crocheted loosely it can be a little bit tight, and then you're going to pull up your loop. So again, in the next one, look for that bump and pull up your loop. Make sure you do your stitches loose. So I'm going to continue pulling up loops all the way down the back of this chain in the back bumps until I have 12 stitches. So just a few more to pick up here. Okay, let's see what we have. 2, 4, 6, 8. No, we've got 13. Okay, so I've got one too many. So let's just pretend I've got 12 on here. I'm going to unravel this as if it never happened, and then we'll have 12 stitches to start our pattern. So for every return pass in Tunisian crochet, you're going to yarn over and chain the first loop. Then you're going to yarn over again and pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. When you're done picking up loops, you can see that the bind on is really quite lovely. You get this sort of row of chain stitches here that is really easy to crochet into when you're attaching your pillow front to the pillow back. One thing I'd like to mention is that when you are crocheting the Kayla pillow back, you will be using a double end hook like I'm showing you here. But for purposes of this demonstration, I'm using this one. When you're starting the first row, instead of doing a traditional yarn over where the yarn comes from the back over the front, we're going to do a reverse yarn over. So we're going to wrap the yarn over the front so that it's draping over the back. Then we're going to take our finger and make sure that we're holding that yarn over secure. Now this very first loop is never worked into, so we're going to skip that. We're going to insert our hook into these next 2 loops here, yarn over and pull through our loop. Once again, we're going to reverse yarn over, insert through the next 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through a loop. Again, reverse yarn over, through the next 2 stitches, yarn over, pull through your loop. Reverse yarn over, through the next 2 stitches, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Now we're left with these last 2 stitches, so once again we're going to reverse yarn over, insert through the last 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through our loop. To complete the row, because we started with a reverse yarn over, we're going to end it with a reverse yarn over. So reverse yarn over, then you're going to turn the edge towards you, and then you're going to insert your hook into 2 loops on the side here. Just locate those 2 loops, then yarn over and pull through your loop. Now we're ready to do a return pass, and the return pass is actually considered part of the first row, and it's going to be the same thing for each and every row that you complete. You're going to yarn over and pull through the first loop, and that's a chain 1. Then yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, And we're going to pull through 2 loops all the way to the end of the row until we only have 1 stitch remaining, and then we're going to be ready to start our second row. Just a couple more. Now the Tunisian smock stitch is a 2-row repeat, so we're just about to start the second row. Okay, there we are. Now if you look here, you can see our smock stitch, our Tunisian simple stitch 2 together right here. Now we're going to alternate so that we're bringing together these 2 stitches. So what we're going to do is just a Tunisian simple stitch. We're going to insert our hook into that first loop, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Now we're getting right back into the same pattern. So reverse yarn over, and sometimes it's really difficult to see this second leg of that stitch here, so we're just going to give it a little pull if you can't see it. Insert through the next 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through. Then another reverse yarn over, and again you might have to give that a little tug. Insert through the next 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through. And we're going to repeat this all the way to the end with a reverse yarn over through the next 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through. Now as you near the end of the second row, you'll notice that you've only got 1 loop left. So reverse yarn over through that 1 loop and pull through the loop. Now because we didn't perform a reverse yarn over at the beginning, we're not going to do it at the end either. We're simply going to turn the edge towards us, find those 2 loops on the side, yarn over, and pull through our loop. Now we're ready to do the return pass once again. So yarn over, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and again we're going to pull through 2 loops all the way back to the beginning of this row until we're left with only 1 stitch on the hook. And at the end of this row, that's going to complete our 2-row repeat of the smock stitch. So for the 3rd and 4th rows, we're just going to repeat what we did on the 1st and 2nd rows. So once again, we're going to alternate our pattern. We're going to yarn over, hold that down, and insert into these 2 loops right here. And we're going to perform this Tunisian simple stitch 2 together, is actually what it's called, all the way to the end of our row here. And then at the end of every row, we're going to do our return pass. So that was our last 2 stitches. Reverse yarn over, find those 2 loops at the end, and complete your end stitch. Now the end stitches are extremely important because if you forget to do those, you're going to notice that you're going to start to lose stitches. So I would suggest after every couple of rows, like, just be sure to sort of count and make sure you still have the 12 stitches that you started with. So here we are, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Now I misspoke because we're actually doing a yarn over. We're going to end up with 13 stitches. So if we started with 12, you'll notice on every forward pass you're going to have 13 stitches now. So don't think you've made a mistake if you're counting an extra stitch than what you started with. Here we are back at the beginning of the row, and once again We're going to alternate the pattern, so we're not going to do a reverse yarn over. We're simply going to do a Tunisian simple stitch into that stitch, pull up a loop, then we're going to start our reverse yarn over and Tunisian simple stitch the next two together. Reverse yarn over and Tunisian simple stitch two together. Now after this row we really should start to see how that smock stitch pattern is starting to form. And again, if you're not starting with a reverse yarn over, you're not going to be ending with a reverse yarn over, so you're simply going to insert your hook into the two loops and perform your end stitch. And that completes your fourth row. So once again, do the return pass. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this demo, and I really do hope that you'll consider purchasing the Kayla pillow pattern. 100% of the proceeds do go to Alzheimer's, so please do consider that, and thank you for watching. As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch.